Frank Ocean is a well-known singer with several hit albums, including one of the best albums of all time.
No white lighters till I fuck my 28th.
These bitches want Nike.
White Ferrari.
He's a two-time Grammy-winning artist. Aside from being a musical genius, Frank Ocean has an insane taste in cars. Given his popularity, have you ever wondered what kind of cars he drives? His collection is a perfect mix of nostalgia, performance, and pure style. In this episode, we'll take a deep dive inside Frank Ocean's insanely unique car collection. 1991 Acura Integra. Frank Ocean's love affair with cars started just like many of us, with a scrappy little beater that made a whole lot of noise. His first car was a 1991 Acura Integra. Not just any Integra though. This one had a loud exhaust and tinted windows, the kind of car a teenager dreams about when they're first getting behind the wheel. Ocean was so attached to this ride, he even named a song after it. Well, sort of. Acura Integ Girl is what he went with, because let's be honest, if you love your car enough, it's basically your girl. But here's the kicker. While the song title and lyrics pay homage to his Integra, the music video features him tearing up the night streets in a red Acura NSX. Maybe he thought the Integra wouldn't look as cool on camera. Maybe the NSX was just the dream upgrade. Either way, it's clear Acura has a special place in his heart. The Integra itself was a gem of its era. It was Honda's way of flexing on the growing sport compact market, bringing in some Civic DNA but with a little more bite. The styling? Sharp and wedge-shaped, with almost flush windows and a look that set it apart from the crowd. Up front, the sleek, slim headlights gave it a mean, purposeful look, while the back had squared-off taillights that sat neatly in the rear panel. It wasn't just about looks though. Step inside and you'd find a low-mounted dashboard offering a crystal-clear view of the road ahead. The four-spoke steering wheel might have been borrowed from the Civic, but the bolstered seats made it clear that this was a car built for fun. The Integra came with a few engine options, but the real star was the GSR model. It packed a 1.7-liter engine, pushing out 160 horsepower. Nothing crazy by today's standards, but back in the 90s, that was gold. The base model wasn't far behind, rocking a 1.8-liter with just 20 horses less. Pair that with a 5-speed manual, and you had yourself a real driver's car. BMW 550i for Frank was a milestone. The first one he bought with music money. A true status symbol for someone who had just broken into the industry. But don't let its price tag fool you. While it was the cheapest in his collection at around $59,000, the 550i is no joke. Any gearhead will tell you it's a powerhouse. Before continuing into the wild world of Ocean's unique car collection, hit that subscribe button and turn on notifications. You won't want to miss this exclusive look at his insanely unique rides. Under the hood, the 550i packs a 4.8-liter V8 that cranks out 360 horsepower and 360 pound-feet of torque. With the 6-speed manual transmission, it can push 158 miles per hour and blast from 0 to 60 in under 5 seconds. That's sports car speed wrapped in executive class comfort. But here's where it gets interesting. BMW took things up a notch by offering an optional 8-speed automatic. Smooth as silk, whisper quiet, and so refined you'd have to shut off the radio and stomp the gas to hear even a hint of growl from the exhaust. Now, for those who love the thrill of hands-on driving, the manual version brings out a whole different beast. Louder, more aggressive, more fun. On the test track, the automatic actually edged out the manual by 0.3 seconds, hitting 60 miles per hour in a blistering 4.8 seconds. By the quarter-mile mark, both were dead even, 13.1 seconds at 109 miles per hour. To put that into perspective, it smoked the previous gen 550i by nearly half a second and even outran the bigger, badder 750i. Not bad for a luxury sedan. The 550i is packed with cutting-edge systems that let the driver tweak the ride to their liking. With the optional dynamic handling and sport packages, this car is basically a rolling supercomputer. The magic button is BMW's adaptive drive system. Tap a button and you can switch between 4 driving modes: Comfort, Normal, Sport, and Sport Plus. Want a cushy, smooth ride? Comfort's got you. Feeling aggressive? Sport Plus stiffens the suspension, sharpens the throttle, and gets the car hunkered down for some serious cornering. 1988 BMW M3. Frank Ocean loves BMWs, that much is clear, but the one that truly made a statement? The legendary E30 M3, the orange car from the cover of Nostalgia Ultra. That image became iconic, yet there's a little twist to the theory. That wasn't even Frank's car. The picture was actually taken by a BMW enthusiast known as Dreisbrug, a regular in online car forums. Frank never contacted him for permission to use it, and to this day, it's unclear if they've ever spoken. That hasn't stopped the car from becoming a symbol, though. Even BMW USA acknowledged it, teasing a potential collaboration with Frank ahead of his Coachella performance. After this, Frank decided to go get an E30 M3 himself. It's a car that defined an era, the first ever M3, a race-bred beast built to dominate the track and streets. At its heart is a naturally aspirated 2.3-liter four-cylinder engine, a four-banger that punches way above its weight class. This wasn't some ordinary grocery getter motor. It was a detuned version of BMW's turbocharged F1 engine, 4 valves per cylinder, individual throttle bodies, a high-revving camshaft, and Bosch's ML3 Motronic engine management system. It puts out 192 horsepower at 6,750 RPM and 170 pound-feet of torque at 4,750 RPM. Might not sound like much compared to today's turbocharged monsters, but in a car that weighs just 2,857 pounds, it's a rocket. It dashes from 0 to 60 in 6.9 seconds and crushes the quarter mile in 15.2 seconds at 92 miles per hour. Flat out, it'll do 141 miles per hour, more than enough to make you feel like a touring car driver on the Autobahn. But the magic isn't just in the power. The E30 M3 is all about handling. Unlike the standard 3 Series, the M3's suspension was heavily reworked for performance. It got shorter, stiffer springs, beefier anti-roll bars, and a front-end setup that connected the sway bar directly to the struts for sharper turning. Every tweak was made with racing in mind, and it shows. Stickier tires, a widened track, and an aggressive stance give it a planted, confident feel. On the look, it had flared bodywork, boxy fenders, and aggressive stance. Pure 80s perfection. It was built to meet homologation rules for touring car racing, which means these wide fenders weren't just for show, they were designed to fit bigger, grippier tires for track dominance. To this day, the E30 M3 is one of the most celebrated sports cars of all time. It makes sense why Frank Ocean would be drawn to it. The BMW E90 M3 is one of the best handling cars Frank Ocean has ever owned. Yeah, it might be one of the older cars in his lineup, but it's still a dream machine. Under the hood, there's a naturally aspirated 4-liter V8 pushing 414 horsepower and 295 pound-feet of torque. That's a beastly amount of power, especially when you realize this thing revs all the way up to 8,400 RPM. This engine is also a work of art, derived from the V10 in the M5, but lighter and more refined. BMW knew what they were doing. Hit the gas and you'll blast from 0 to 60 in just over 3 seconds. That's quick, really quick. It doesn't just accelerate like a rocket, it handles like a dream. Frank himself has called it the best handling car he's ever owned, and that says a lot. BMW E90 M3. The E90 M3 was designed to be lightweight, with carbon fiber elements like the roof helping to shave off unnecessary pounds. Even the rear seat armrest pass-through was redesigned to save weight. BMW was all about precision with this one. Step inside and it's a classic BMW but with that M-Series touch. You've got deeply bolstered sports seats, a thick leather steering wheel, and an M-Badge tachometer. The iDrive system is here too, controlling everything from drive settings to entertainment. Additionally, it had the M-Drive. One button on the steering wheel transforms the entire car, adjusting throttle sensitivity, suspension stiffness, and stability control and steering weight. It's like having 2 different cars in one. Of course, Frank being Frank, he couldn't just have a stock M3. His mirrors are painted orange instead of black. It's a subtle flex, but for car guys, it's the kind of detail that matters. Fun fact, Frank actually crashed this car once. But if you own a BMW M3, you're probably going to drive it hard. That's just what it's made for. The BMW F10 M5 marked a big change for BMW. It was the first M5 to ditch the naturally aspirated engine in favor of a twin turbocharged 4.4-liter V8. Some people were sad to see the old V10 go, but let's be real. This new setup made the car even more brutal. We're talking 560 horsepower and 500 pound-feet of torque. That's enough power to shove you back in your seat and keep you there. With the 7-speed dual-clutch transmission, this thing rockets from 0 to 60 in just under 4.5 seconds. With the M Drivers package, top speed jumps from 155 miles per hour to a mind-blowing 190. On handling, a nearly 2-ton sedan shouldn't be this agile, but BMW pulled off some magic here. The F10 M5 delivers insane grip and control, yet still manages to be comfortable for long drives. Unlike some of its rivals, it doesn't sacrifice everyday usability for performance. Need a highway cruiser? No problem. Want to carve up some back roads? Also no problem. It's the ultimate all-rounder. Inside, you're getting luxury with a capital L. BMW didn't cut corners. Premium materials, top-tier tech, and one of the best iDrive systems in the game. The seats? Like first-class airline chairs, but with way more side support. Visually, the M5 keeps it low-key. It's not overly aggressive, but if you know, you know. Subtle design cues hint at the beast lurking under the hood, like the signature quad exhaust, larger air intakes, and a stance that just looks meaner than a regular 5 Series. Frank's 2017 Tesla Model X is a car that's about as far from a 90s Acura Integra as you can get. It's fast, futuristic, and runs on electricity. Not exactly a beater with a loud exhaust, but it still has that cool factor that makes it fit right into his collection. The Model X is the kind of car that turns heads even before it starts moving, thanks to those wild falcon wing doors that make getting in and out feel more like boarding a spaceship than a car. It's got an understated but sleek design, minimalist to the core, with one massive touchscreen dominating the dashboard. Love it or hate it, there's no denying Tesla changed the game with this one. Under the hood sits a beast of a powertrain. Even the base version of the Model X puts out 417 horsepower with 485 pound-feet of torque. That's enough to rock it from 0 to 60 in under 5 seconds. And of course, it's not just about speed. The Model X is packed with all the high-tech wizardry Tesla is known for. Autopilot? Check. Over-the-air updates that keep making the car better? You got it. All-wheel drive? Standard. The range varies depending on which battery pack you go for. While there's decent cargo space, those fancy falcon wing doors mean you don't exactly throw a roof rack on top. But when you're cruising in near silence, with instant torque at your disposal and a car that looks like it belongs in a sci-fi movie, those little quirks just might be worth it. Porsche 911 GT3 991. The 911 GT3 is Porsche's way of saying, let's take a regular 911, make it insane, and send it to the track. The GT3 is a homologation model, meaning it was built to meet racing regulations, but is still street legal. It's the perfect car for a track day, but Frank isn't just keeping his parked in a fancy garage. He's been spotted pushing it to its limits on racing circuits, rocking a vintage Flaming Lips t-shirt while doing it. That's the kind of dedication we respect. Frank's GT3 is from the 991 generation, built between 2013 and 2019. Under the hood, it's packing a naturally aspirated 3.8-liter flat-6 engine, screaming all the way up to 9,000 RPM. That's a red line high enough to make most cars jealous. It pumps out 475 horsepower and 325 pound-feet of torque, launching this beast from 0 to 60 in just 3.5 seconds. The top speed is a ridiculous 193 miles per hour. That's proper supercar territory. But it's not just about straight-line speed. The 911 GT3 is all about handling. Porsche gave it a wider front track, a lower stance, and a special front spoiler to improve aerodynamics. The massive rear wing isn't just for looks, it keeps the car glued to the ground at high speeds. Porsche even threw in rear axle steering, which makes cornering feel like something out of a video game. Inside, it's all business. No back seats, just a roll cage for extra rigidity and safety. The bucket seats are made from carbon fiber, forcing you into a perfect racing position. Alcantara, carbon fiber, and aluminum are everywhere, keeping the weight down and the performance up. Porsche even made sure the 7-speed PDK transmission could swap gears in just 100 milliseconds. That's faster than you can blink. This thing is fast. So fast that when Porsche first showed it off at the Geneva Motor Show in 2013, fans lost their minds. It could lap the Nürburgring Nordschleife in 7 minutes and 22 seconds, making it one of the quickest production cars of its time. It even beat the legendary Porsche Carrera GT around the ring by 6 whole seconds. If that doesn't prove how hardcore the 911 GT3 991 is, nothing will. The McLaren 675 LT is lighter, more powerful, more focused, and most importantly, way more fun to drive. Frank Ocean dropped a cool $350,000 on this bad boy, making it the most expensive ride in his collection. Absolutely worth it. The 675 LT is powered by a 3.8-liter twin-turbocharged V8. The performance numbers are absurd. 0 to 60 in just 2.9 seconds, 124 miles per hour in just 7.9 seconds. A top speed of 205 miles per hour. It's basically a rocket ship with wheels. McLaren gave it a 7-speed transmission with new software to maximize performance. The inertia push technology helps deliver waves of torque when shifting gears, making acceleration feel relentless. But McLaren didn't just throw in more power and call it a day. They went crazy with weight reduction. The entire car is dripping in carbon fiber. Even the exhaust system is made from titanium, shaving off over 2 pounds. The whole powertrain alone cuts 22 pounds. Less weight means more speed, better handling, and an even more thrilling driving experience. Aerodynamics play a massive role too. The aggressive front splitter, massive side intakes, and long tail rear wing all work together to keep the car planted. The wing isn't just for show. It actually increases downforce by 40%. That means you can take corners at ridiculous speeds without worrying about losing grip. Inside, it's a proper race car. Carbon fiber bucket seats, Alcantara everywhere, and no unnecessary luxuries. Everything is designed to keep the driver focused. This car is raw, unfiltered driving pleasure. It's loud, it's aggressive, and it demands respect. McLaren built it for people who want an extreme driving experience, and Frank Ocean is clearly one of those people. That's it for our look inside Frank Ocean's one-of-a-kind car collection. Which ride stood out the most to you? Drop your thoughts in the comments. If you had a good time watching, be sure to like, subscribe, and turn on notifications so you never miss out on more amazing car content. Catch you in the next one.